What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? Give me a second.
Man, technology.
That was crazy.
Technology, not
Man,
technology.
it was hurting us right there, man. Like, I don't know. How you doing? How you doing this evening, brother?
Doing good, man. Doing good, man. Greatly appreciate your time. And before I even start asking you questions, get anything going, the wildest thing to me is when I reached out and presented you a time, the fact that you was like 1,700 words. I said 1,700. I said, this is somebody who did. This is somebody who's been told push until I get tired.
Man, I'm telling you, man. You too?
No, man, no, I was the complete opposite. I was someone who everybody said, listen, don't join the military, don't go do it, it's a waste of your time, and proceeded to
Oh,
almost exclusively only work for the federal government, including 7 years in federal law enforcement. Like that was
man.
it. Like just I was like, maybe I should try. They said, no, man. I said I could be having a way better TSP. I said at this point I should have just went to the Navy.
I'm telling you, that's why I tell some young kids now, I'm like, college ain't for everybody. Get a trade. Uh, you know, join the military for 4 years, cash out your TSP.
Yep.
It's a lot of options out there, a lot of different routes to go. You just got to find out what works for you. But it's a lot of ways to do things the right way.
Right.
A lot, and so especially with social media and how it's going. So.
Oh yeah, man. Well, shoot, man. I'm gonna of course take this chop and do all of that, but man, introduce yourself, man. Tell me a little bit about yourself, man. How did you become the marathon man in Magic City, man? What? I said I was like, man. I said you gotta put that on the T-shirt, man. This the marathon man in the Magic City.
Oh man, that's crazy. When I saw that on your story, I'm like, man, this guy's crazy. So, uh, to be honest, so I've been in the National Guard for over 22 years, right? So part time, I did roughly 7 years active, and I just stopped my active duty time back in December, man, with the Guard. So, um, funny story. This is how it started. 2008, I joined a special ops unit and became airborne, right? Became airborne 2010. Uh, One of my senior leaders said, look, you can reclass to 74 Delta, which is chemical
Right.
specialist, right? In order to go to Ranger school. I said, okay, cool, great, awesome. So I'm young, it's a long time ago. I'm young. So yeah, I went, finished chemical school, but then we deployed. And so we were prepping for deployment end of 2010, and that's when I graduated chemical school by December, right? Fort Leonard Wood. And 2011 we deployed for 9 months. So
Mm.
yeah, man, Afghanistan was wild.
That was back during the time where they was hitting everybody with like stop loss, all that. Like, you thought your rotation was over?
So,
Nah.
so yeah, man, it was wild because stop loss. I think stop loss was happening between maybe '05
Yeah, that
to
was like '05 to '07.
yeah. It was happening real. It was crazy, man. I'm glad I did part of that, man. So that would have been wild, man. Because a funny story, my lieutenant had got caught up in a 13-month deployment. He had to stay 13 months. So he was over there before we got over there, and he was a med guy, and he had to fly out to different locations. So it was he saw some stuff. But so we got back from the deployment, and they didn't have. I still had the Victor slide, which is a Victor slide is when you go to Ranger school at any time, right? As long as you got the Victor identifier. So they still had it, but they didn't have the money to send me, and so I was promotable to the next grade, E5, the next rank. So I ended up leaving the unit. So I left special ops back then. So I'm like, God dang, man, I'm gonna miss it because I'm jumping out of planes and doing all the cool stuff, right? And I didn't go to Ranger. So years later, you gotta stay fit in the military, right? So
Yeah.
so years later, another story, man. These little sob stories. Years later, I end up becoming 18, 17. I got back in the same group, right? Still got some life in me. I'm 30 something, so I'm like, okay.
But big time senior NCO, he like, I could.
I got a little life in me, right? And so I said, okay, well, since I'm back in another Victor slot as active duty serving him now, I'm gonna go ahead and do Ranger, right? Was training up, so that's how I started back. Like my entire endurance thing. Like I had to stay in shape, but the entire endurance thing started back.
Right.
So I started running, boom, boom. When I tell you that I came from like running a 9-minute mile exhausted, like as far as like just for like a long period of time to like 6:45, 6:30 time, just with kind of like with a slight ease. It took a while. It took 5 years. But anyway, it takes a while, man. Endurance sports are totally different. As you know, you've seen it. You know, like lifting weights takes time to build too. But endurance sports is like no other. When you get in trouble, what the coach tell you to do? Go run.
Yeah.
Nobody likes to
Yeah.
do it.
I mean, as a former defensive and offensive lineman, I'm like, oh, run. I mean, lift. I got you. But yeah, the idea of, hey, look, man, I'm gonna smoke you. We're not gonna do push-ups, but if you give me these gashes, give me these suicides, no one wants to run.
Exactly, man. And but running it builds a different mentality. Okay, I got off track again. So uh I was training up for Ranger school, trying to 5 miles in 40 minutes, trying to pass that test. The test changed now. Knocked that out, and I was able to do that. But I had a bump shoulder from the past too. So I go to my physical. She didn't pass me. So I'm like, okay, well, whatever. I just keep doing the Army thing and just keep jumping out of planes while I can and do that. So that's where I really started at back in 18, 19. And I was going to all these schools when I went to my military school. And they were like, they expect an older guy like me, like 38, no, 37 years old. Like, man, this guy's moving. I said, yeah, it took me a long time.
It didn't happen overnight. There was there was some effort, there was some work, there was some diligence required.
And that's what it takes. Any sport, like football, what I'm saying, endurance sports, basketball, everything takes time. And that's why I preach to the young people and young athletes, like, look, man, nothing's going to happen overnight. It's going to take time. It's going to take dedication. But you got to want to do it. And I tell them, I said, look, I cannot be the example for you if I'm not doing it. Right? I got to be out here doing it, right? Especially when you talk about endurance, right? Yeah, you got some coaches that have done it in their past life. They may have medical issues. I get it. But if I'm out here doing it, that they can at least see like, dang, coaches out there doing it. And we have our other coaches too. They're good at this. He's showing us. So that's how we work as a team, right?
Yeah.
And my son, I want my son to play basketball. He's like 5'11", like lanky, tall, man.
Of course, but he sees you, and of course,
man, listen,
run,
dude. Listen, man, he's way ahead of me now, man. He just ran another 4:53 mile, 16.
I saw the video of him on Instagram. I was like, okay, But when I saw the stride,
Man, listen.
I looked immediately. I saw the stride and went, "Oh, this isn't. Oh, this ain't a little fella." I said, "This like I'm 6'1". I know." I said, "This isn't a small fella." I said, "This cat at least 5'10", 5'11". By the
Yep.
stride, so I mean, you fall into the track, and even like now the mentor and all that. Like I'm trying to see. So where did all of the like the drive for was the drive for the discipline, the drive for that level of focus, the almost because it requires a level of self motivation to be a runner. And even by what you said, you knew from being in the military, there's we had an instructor at the academy, like retired border patrol agent. He loved smoking people into the ground. Loved it, loved running.
Yeah.
But he was one of those who he did 25 years in the Corps, 20 years in border patrol. Oh yeah, just genuine, like really. I still stay in contact with him this day. If I ever just need somebody a quick like verbal kick in the butt. But his deal was always, I'm not going to tell you anything that I haven't done or that I'm not willing to show you. So when
Yeah.
he would say, all right, dude, here's the exercise, here's the obstacle, he would get up there and do it. And I'll never forget, he stood there and said, the only way to properly lead is to lead from the front.
Oh,
And I was like, I said, that is very, very Marine Corps. And after he said that, and even like that approach to you, all of that mindset, okay, this leadership, this I'm gonna go do it. That not necessarily a fixed mentality, but having the openness to go, all right, even hey, I'm now senior NCO. I couldn't clear for this, but I can still jump out of planes. Is that something that was always in you, or is it something that's fresh and new and it came from the military, or was that just was always you from the soil?
I'm gonna tell you something about me in the military, right? Our relationship. Oh,
I mean, you was in the army, so I know where this is going. I
oh man.
have I don't know any. I don't think I have any partners who spent significant whether they were Cav Scouts, Forward Observers, 11 Bravo. I don't have any of them who will tell you out of their mouth and fix their mouth to say, I was Ranger Joe. I was squared away every day. No, most of them be like, oh man, how'd you like the army? Oh man, deployment was cool. I hated it. I was like, why did you hate? They're like, it's a love hate relationship with the army. You got to understand. And I'm like, man, I said, but then it's the opposite. I talked to my partner who in the Air Force. They're like, loved it.
And they love
They're like, loved it. It's amazing. It's like I'm in the Air National Guard now. Love it. It's amazing. Wouldn't trade it for the
it
world.
and love it, right? And so my sister was Air Force, man. She loved it. Like she got out on the medical, right? But she loved it. Like if she didn't have back problem, I think she would have stayed in like
Been a lifer.
25.
Been a lifer.
She loved it. And so my drive, you mentioned drive. So the military, the relationship. I was in 11th grade and I decided to join the military. I did a split op,
Ah,
11th grade, my senior year, right? So the basic, that 11th grade year after I finished my 11th grade year, the summer I went to basic, right? Got ripped up, got cut up, man. I'm talking about in shape. And it was weird to me. But I joined because I was bored.
mm.
Yeah, serious. Like I was bored. Like
So
I
now,
played. Yeah.
at this time, are you always in Birmingham? Are you born and raised like you a ham? Or are you like a ham local?
Man, listen, I'm from a place called Pine Hill, Alabama, which is in Wilcox County.
Okay.
The in the state. So country boy, but I've been in Huntsville. So I reside in Huntsville. I've been here 22 years. I went to A&M, Alabama A&M.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah. Where you from?
I'm born and raised Los Angeles,
Oh,
California. But
yeah.
anytime somebody a lot of my family, we did the family reunion, the long short is most of the roots come from middle of nowhere, Alabama, and like low country South Carolina. So
Name it.
yeah, places that I can't even name in Alabama, and then they went from there to places that I can't name in Arkansas, outside of like in my family, like Little Rock is a huge city,
Yeah.
and Searcy is a big city. Like
Okay.
Searcy, Arkansas, like Ida Bena, Mississippi is a big city in my family. Like Monk's Corner, South Carolina is a big city in my family. So yeah, when you say, but I'm born and raised LA and all that, but even Alabama A&M, I always worded like this, God is good. I tell people I have 4 daughters, 1 son. When people tell me, they say, oh man, 4 daughters. I said, look, man, when I was My grandfather used to say, whatever you gonna do, be the best. I said, man, when it was time to run the streets and be sinning and wilding, I said I was the best. But by the grace of God, I said, but I don't, I look back on times where I visited people and, people, oh, Alabama. I said, I know Alabama A&M. I know Stillman State. How do you know them? I said, the young women there were very kind. The young women there were very kind. That's the way to put it. I said, man, then I have all these daughters and I needed more structure. Maybe I should have went to the Navy. I said it would have been.
You have, especially out of Cali.
Oh yeah,
Especially out of Cali.
yeah, man, yeah. So now you go from small, so you go from super small Bama to Huntsville
Yep.
to deciding, okay, all right, so I'm bored. I'm bored in Alabama. I'm just gonna go join the military.
Yep. I joined the military, came back my senior year of high school. Then I did my other training, my AIT. Yeah. And I just stayed. I was in the guard, went to college at A&M in 02. And I just been up here ever since. So, and the drive, so the military was just like, hey, I'm joining. I like it. I had only one bad day in basic training. And I can remember like yesterday, just one bad day. It was just because another soldier, which he's a cool dude, and he ran track. He's a cool dude. It was just like, it was something. And then we had the drill sergeant made us do something, and it just pissed me off that one day. But everything else,
smooth.
Man, listen, it was smooth, man. Like, it was smooth, man. Like, I don't, man, I can't believe how easy some of the soldiers got it now. Like in the Army, on the Army side, no other branch, but how easy got it now, man. I went in 01 and it was, I ain't gonna say it was super hard, but I already had respect for authority. Right. So it wasn't me to, okay, they telling me what to do, so do right. it. Knock it out with it. And that was it. So cut and dry. Had respect for my elders, so hey, man.
Natural seamless transition to, all right, look, okay, so this hat is telling me to do this. I'm going to listen to what this hat says. Like, it's not that hard. I'm pretty sure you had a couple of people, from my side of town, from California, who was, talking back, giving a little bit of, yeah, I know. I went to school with them. I know. I wholly understand.
But, and the ones that you talking about now, like in the foxhole, though, if you got them besides you fighting, that's who you want, because those guys they're gonna go at it, man. Guys and ladies, like, you build a relationship with people from all walks of life. And so, like, my drive with the running thing, it wasn't David Goggins, but it was just like, hey, look, man, I gotta get better. That's what it was. I'm gonna send you a video, or I'm gonna share an old post I had, and you're gonna look at me and then look at where I came from, as far as like, you'll see like my face and how I look. You're like, dang, you changed.
That transition.
Yeah, man. And I saw myself, like, man, this is not me. I gotta do something. And also, my son he didn't start running because of me. He wanted to do it himself, but I made him a bet. I said, if you can run under 7 minutes, I'm gonna send you that video too. I got that video too. If you can run under a 7-minute mile, I give you $100. And I gave my watch, and I got on his scooter, and he ran under a 7-minute mile. I was like, oh my goodness. I mean, like 640 something like that, some crazy number. I'm like, oh, okay. So you might like it. And so he runs all 3 seasons.
So he's doing so he's cross country, and not just the amount of endurance, but like I love the D words, like my D word this year, of course, is being deliberate, because I like intentionality. But even in that, like, discipline. I have a cousin who, he'll go back and watch this. I'm shocked he ain't jumped on, because he was like, you have somebody who runs track. And he was someone, I've got to interview him because he has one of the coolest stories ever. He was someone who was born premature, and they said, he'll probably come out wrecked. It won't go. And literally, by the grace of God, kid's a member of Mensa, like legitimate genius, ran at Grambling State on a cross country scholarship, like just a runner. And he just found a passion and a peace in running. And the one thing he would always say is, oh, Augusta, there's this discipline of, you're like 2 miles in, and just knowing, like, I've got 3 more miles. I've got 2 more. And I would listen to him speak even about running and just so passionate. I'm like, the discipline that it takes. I've seen people who ran the 100. You know, my oldest daughter ran track for 3 seasons. I won't talk about the cost of that, the absorbent fees of, me paying for track. I got to pay for the track outfit. I got to pay for the cleats. I got to pay for the
Ooh,
spikes. Then I
ooh.
got to pay per event. Then you want me to pay for parking. So I'm already out this much money. Now I have to pay you to watch my child, but I'm present.
That's it.
Hold on. I said, I remember telling my ex-wife, I said, I don't know how this is. How is this? I said, how is this benefiting the collective? I was like, this is a lot of funds going out. But yeah, that discipline on that long distance, man, because there's a mindset you have to adopt. Like seeing people who run the 100 and the sprints, it's nothing against them, but that quick twitch muscle, that ability to get there and be done. There's something that you have to click in your mind where you go, all right, I'm 1 mile in. Well, this is a 5 mile run. Like,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
okay. So now, like, do you, and it, my granddaddy used to say, 90% of things come down to want to. And this is do you want to or do you not? So if you're at mile 1 and all right, I got 4 more miles, do you really want to run that? You're in this race like hey man, I'm going to go to Ranger School. I mean, a lot of people don't want to do that. And specifically, I'll say for you, you were there. I know maybe 2 brothers with airborne tabs.
Yeah,
It's not it's not really so even that drive, that want
yeah, man.
to want to do it. What even makes you want to even like to want to mentor, to want to do this with these kids, man? Like that's because you clearly have a lot of want to that a lot of folk lack.
Yeah, man. I'm glad you asked that. Um, it's a little bit of competition too with the kids. It's fun competition, and it just to show them that if I'm out here doing it 40 plus, you have no reason to complain. Like you got it. Y'all are 23 years younger than me. So go ahead
Right,
and knock it out. It doesn't last forever, and that's how you gotta look at it. And we use this. I know you heard this term from military personnel, and so that's what this term we use in SOF, special operations. We'll say slow is smooth, smooth is
so
fast.
fast. Yep. It was the
So
same thing they taught you in entry drills when we would
that,
anything. It was like, hey, you gonna make entry, and hey, you don't want to move fast. You want to move slow because you want to be proficient
yep,
in your movement. You want to maximize every step. Don't step too slow is smooth. And I said that makes no sense. And then you fail to drill a couple of times, and you go, man, you know what? I think this guy who worked as a U.S. Marshal for 20 years, I think this brother's got it figured out.
yep. I'm about to fall out of the chair. Look at that. Who's that peeking in my window? But so yeah, man. Like you said the transition thing, and that comes into they can go into everything.
Right.
Give me a second. Give me 1 second. Let me grab something. Oh, in the early morning rain. In the early morning. I'm not finished yet, Jason. I'll be finished in that. Love you. Then I mean, oh, my son is
Look,
tripping.
look. I hear. Listen, that's the I've learned in all my years. I said, look, man, you want to record, you want to do this, you want to go to the store. I said, there is the most glorious. I said, growing up in L.A., man, I've been around a lot of hoods. The greatest hood I've ever been a part of is the fatherhood. I said, it'll interrupt anything every time. Like, hey, I have an important meeting. This could be worth $8 trillion, and your child will never hesitate to go, yeah, I know, but I just want a hug right now. Like what?
Exactly. You gotta, you gotta show that love, man. We gotta keep showing that love,
Oh yeah.
man. It's important, especially in our community, right?
Oh yeah. Because you blink, and they're tiny and they're young, and you enjoying it, and then the next thing you know, they 14, not answering phone calls, texting back what you need. Like,
Man, can you
what?
believe? Can you believe how old? how much your kids have grown over the years. You can't
Oh yeah.
believe you can't. Don't even seem real,
No.
does it?
There is, and like even like from a standpoint, like that's why I even said like I like the fact that you coach, you mentor, and all that, because I tell people you begin within your own village. Like I tell
Mm-hmm.
people, there's no way that I can't call, do homework, do this, spend time there with mom. I said you naturally want to extend that, like
You do.
specifically where you're somebody who's invested. You go, hey, look, man, I see this kid over here. I'm able to do this for mine, but that kid, they're not getting that. How do I find a way to get that kid that, not the equal amount of my kid, but at least some? Because there's so many, like you said, so many who you just see, and it's like that's a kid who I know from a distance. No one is pouring into them, and
Mm-hmm.
that lack later on in life, like that's not just going to affect that child or that individual. Then that's going to affect the community and the world as a whole, because all it might have took was that 1 minute for you to be like, hey man, you have a good day, and
That's it, man. Oh my gosh, man,
like
it's so
that
small,
that
bro.
that minor that minor.
Oh, man, like just spread positivity. Like we're not gonna have the best day every day. Got it,
Right.
whatever. But spread positivity. We got to pour into these children, these kids, man, because it's so easy for them to get off track.
Quickly.
They got too much digital, too many digital distractions out here.
Right.
We didn't have that.
No.
You know,
No.
we was
No.
outside.
Yeah, there is, once it gets this time or it gets this or that light is on, you can come in. But until then, specifically during the summer,
We were
don't get
outside.
outside. Don't let my good air out of the house. All of the cliches that people like say in jest, oh, black people. I said, no, I said that was real. That was real. You went outside, drink out of the hose. That's a real thing.
That's it. A real
Like
thing.
you
Now
stay
they
outside.
now they
That's a real thing. You don't,
drink out of
yeah.
the hose no more
No.
because of what the pipelining of the hose. Like, come
Yeah.
on, man, really? Those hoses back then were probably 10 times worse than.
Listen, man, there's somebody who grew up drinking certain illnesses and stuff went around, and people I might sneeze and then they said, man, I said, no, man, I don't get sick, never called out sick work. Hey, man, you gonna do this? All right, man, you gonna do this? You gonna stand watch? You gonna do that? Yeah, man, not an issue. They're like, do you get sick? Man, I grew up in the '90s drinking water out of the hose in Los Angeles. I think I'm
Yeah,
good.
no problem. Oh man,
Yeah, I think I'm good. I'm immune to the
real
wealth
city
of,
water,
yeah, I'm immune to the wealth of things that y'all around here getting a sniffle on. I said, a cool breeze coming. Y'all down for a day.
bro. Oh man, I don't know if you want to talk about COVID or not.
Look,
I'm about to just skip, but I had,
well,
I had contracted COVID, right?
yeah. I mean, look, if folks can say however they want, I was like, hey, listen, man. I said, as somebody who watched like in new lives lost and really watched, I said, let's not play no hoaxes. I was like, folk out here
Exactly.
dropping. I was
Yeah,
like, folk is dropping for
for
real, for real.
real, for real, for real, for real. I had messed around and caught it, right? And so, of course, I was running, not when I had it, but my recovery time was like 2 days.
Right.
I'm like, what? And I was tripping. I didn't take no medicine. I drank tea. I'm a vegetarian too, bro.
Ah,
Just
ah,
so I was drinking tea, just doing stuff like that, and just doing natural remedies. I've only been a vegetarian for almost 6 years now, so it wasn't all the time. So
right.
and it also helped me help my run get better
Right.
too.
I was gonna say because yeah, I was like, I know you wasn't eating no because I'm pretty sure all those pork based products and those MREs. I know you was eating
Oh,
all
oh
of
my
the.
gosh, man. Luckily, I've been in units where we don't have to really eat those,
Look,
and once you get a little bit rank, you can slide
look,
off.
he was like, yeah, hold on, I got options.
You can
See,
slide off.
man,
Hey,
told you, senior NCO. It was like, hey, man, listen, hey, what's that, specialist? Right, appreciate you.
I'm telling E4 Mafia, man, like it was crazy, man. But man, like it's when you go back to talk about the mile after mile after mile, right? Like I just had a race this past weekend, and I kind of felt that way on mile 4
Mm,
of a 10K or a 6.2 miler, and I'm
right,
like, man, what's happening? And so in my head, I'm like, bro, I ain't gonna make my time. So I was aiming for 41 minutes and 19 seconds was my goal
mm,
time in the six miler, right? So I'm like, okay, uh, I was just running, and I saw these people pass me because my goal was top 5, but when I saw the guys pass me, I recognized that they are part of a run crew. So I'm like, okay, yeah, they're young guys, they're a run crew. So they run this route all the time because they were from
Mm.
Birmingham. So I'm like, okay, cool, y'all good. So and but when I got to the closer to the finish, because my watch was off, it was like the time was off. I got towards the finish, I saw 40, like 40, 20 or 40, 25, and then I kind of started speeding. I'm like, dang, I made my time.
Had to open up.
Yeah, I'm like, I made my
Yeah.
time. I'm thinking like, really?
Mm.
So sometimes we get in our head and say, oh man,
Right.
I don't do it, and try to keep up with everybody else. But you have the key statement I make to the athletes, and in life, you have to run your race. It's about your nothing else. It does nothing else matters. It's about running your race. Today you may feel like you can run or do a 6 minute mile. Today, the next day you may can do a 7 minute mile, and the day after you may can do a 5 minute mile. It's all about running your race on that day.
Mm.
And it never lasts forever. So just knock it out, be done with it, and that's it. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. I keep telling the kids that you got to build up to it. And it's a build up with everything in life too. It's the
Yeah.
same thing in life.
It
Run your
don't.
race.
It's not instant. So now, because you're dealing with the youth. Like it's not. There's in the pictures I've seen. Like you're actively working with that. Really, I would say, as somebody from LA, we used to, we all have referenced, the school to prison pipeline historically
Yeah.
how it works, and I've seen that statistically play out in partners who I had growing up, dudes in the neighborhood where I go, okay, all right, doctor, federal agent, military, lawyer, whatever, Google IT specialist, prison grade. And it's like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
the numbers worked out.
Mm-hmm.
You're not just working in that core group where it's like that 11 to 18, like that, all right, the coming into masculinity or femininity, establishing social status and all of that. But you're also in an area and a city in a state like Alabama where, hey, look, we might not have, the state may not be pouring into this the way they need to get these kids from avoiding it specifically. I mean, I still, 14-year-old daughter, I still got to tap in with some music. I
Yep.
listen to Little Soldier, like I'm like they in the ham. They're in the ham. Like I listen to this music and I'm like, okay, I was like, man, and being from the West Coast, I just go, how do I find a way to blame this on Ice Cube? I'm like, I feel like y'all open the gates for everybody to just be gang banging and thugging and cripping, blood and
They
vice
not
lord
made,
and fucking
and they not made like that.
everywhere. And so how do you connect with them and how do you combat with not just the digital distractions, but just, man, the life of outside that's so readily available that doesn't take the discipline, that doesn't take the endurance, that doesn't really take, it don't take no focus to be a street dude. How do you
Nope.
keep them from that and keep them literally, pun intended, on track?
I listen to them, and I take what they give me, and I use it to help them out.
Mm.
Kids are, kids are some sense, real easy to listen to. Just listen to them. They'll tell you what the issue is without even telling you. Because we get so caught up in like, this is our way and that's it. Thank God I got two boys I'm raising, a 15 and a 9-year-old, where I can see how to manage and mitigate some of the stressors that they may be going through. Hey, okay. I had to listen to him like, look, man, let me tell you my piece, the logical piece on my side, then I'll listen to what you got going on. And then you can decipher from there, okay, well, you may be telling them a story, but we're gonna let it slide this time. But next time I'm gonna check you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because we have I have this one athlete, man. She's talented, right? Mid
However,
she's talented, right? But
however,
she's got better. She's gotten a whole lot better this indoor season. But doing cross country, man, like she could have broke so many barriers, like
mm,
so fast. But she never finished her workouts. Like she never like completed her workouts. And so what I did, I talked to the head coach. I said, look, I'm about to run with her. and she'll finish them with me. So I ran a couple workouts with her on a couple different days, and she ended up finishing them with me. So sometimes you have to get out there and actively like be with them, talk to them while you're working out, or whatever it is, right? You have to, and you also got to listen to them. You got to listen to them and build a plan. You know, you got to listen to these children, man, and people. And, you know, respect what they got going on, because we may think, oh, they just playing around with. They may have a real issue. That's
Right.
you know, I'm not gonna have. I may not have had the same issue with them growing up, and I got like five. I got 7 sisters, right?
Ooh.
5 I grew up with. Yeah,
Ooh.
right. And 2, and 2 on my dad's side, on the outside, right? And I got a younger brother. But growing up in house, I was the only boy. So growing up in house with 5 sisters, and then you know my mom, I got a different outlook on things.
Right.
So, and I appreciate that. You know, I tell my son, I say, you man, you gotta realize you're blessed, man, to be in the situation you're in. You know, it's just you and your brother, but you have to show him how to be a young man.
Right.
Y'all 6 years apart, so you got to show him. You can't just be out here doing anything.
Because he's naturally. I tell my oldest daughter, like I remind her all the time. I say, regardless of what you think,
Mm-hmm.
like there is always, and from her down to my young, I go, I say even my second youngest, I'll tell her, hey, listen, here's the thing. If you do this, who's going to see it? And I go, so naturally, it's the cycle of life. I'm gonna watch what my sibling does. I could not like that sibling. I could dislike him. I could be mad at him that day. We could have different mamas, different daddies, step, blood, adopted, whatever. Like this is the predecessor for me.
Yep.
So I'm naturally gonna follow them, whether that be good or bad. Because if that person is doing well, it works for them. They like it. They look like they're having fun. Because kids aren't, to your point, they're not that complicated. If you listen to them, they'll tell you, "Oh, I don't really want. I'm just watching them because they look like they're having fun doing that." It's like,
Yep. They'll tell you.
yeah. So it's like, oh, well, why'd you do that? Well, my brother did it. Well, if your brother's doing bad, you would do it too. I mean, he looks like they're very honest and candid. No, he looks like he enjoying himself.
Yep,
I'm
man.
gonna go do that.
Yep. Yep. Most children will tell you. Most kids will tell you. They'll let you know how they're feeling too. You know, you got to look at their mannerisms too. You know, body language is big,
Yeah,
especially
that's
with teens.
real good. Majority, what they tell us in all of the behavioral aspects. Hey, when you're watching for furtive movements, everything is most communication nonverbal. And I'm sitting in the classroom dozing. I'm like, this is nonverbal communication right here. But even that, just all right. How's your kid moving? How's what are they saying but not saying? Yeah, man. So I mean, it's interesting because you're taking the same things that you would apply to your fatherhood to these kids
Yep.
who to somebody else's kids. Like that's a real love. Like, how is that received from the parents of the kids that you coach, the schools they're at, and really, how has it been received? All of what you do, how's it been received by the city? Like, do you get love and support in those areas for the programs and the things you're trying to do?
I do. I'm glad you said that. Yeah, the parents appreciate it, man. Uh, they'll come and tell me thank you. Some of them kind of like pray to talk to me. I guess because I run so many miles. I guess I don't know. I was like, but they really do appreciate it, and they they give me thanks and everything. They show gratitude. But I just prefer them to give it back to the kids. Like, give back to your child. Like, hey, see your child doing good. Let them know that they're doing good, and we got to keep instilling it in our children. Like, hey, you're doing great. You're doing great. Keep it up. Oh, you had a bad day. Like, let's go. Let's do. I tell the parents, like, look, it's the rules of third, right? Olympic style, right? So you have good days, you have bad days, and you have okay days.
Mm.
So the rule of third, right? You're gonna have some good days, some bad days, and some days you're gonna be like, ah. So on the good days, cherish those days. On the bad days, learn, and on the okay days, be thankful.
As the man, run. Say that, preacher. Say that again. Say that again.
Man, come on.
That's 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 deep. Boy, man, preacher good on a Friday evening. What?
Oh man, what's wrong with me? I got to put furniture together. Have to be get out there, like, for real, like. But man, man, I keep going back to the mile after mile thing. I work out by myself,
Right.
and it's very, very hard not to quit on yourself when you're
Mm.
doing strenuous activity like that. So I put in my mind, I said, what will my son think? What will
Mm.
my wife think? When I ran my first marathon, I'm gonna run some more, but not in this city because man, whew, man, it's a lot of hills here, brother. You hear me?
What down the? Oh, I'd have been in the Handman Huntsville. Oh yeah, yeah,
Until oh
yeah,
my gosh, this
you could. I'm an Angels fan, so the single A affiliate or the double A affiliate
man,
is the Trash Pandas.
yep,
So I didn't caught a
yep.
couple of them. So I done been out there, and I was leaving the airport like, oh no, I said, yeah, no, wasn't expecting
It used
this.
to be cars. When did you? When was the last time you came here?
Man, we're in 20. Good Lord, we're in 2025. That was when their inaugural season when they first became the Trash Pandas back in like
Yeah,
2021 or 2022.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
about right. Yeah, dude, you come again now, like it's boom, 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 just growing, man. Like it's growing fast, and it's a lot. It's a lot. Funny story. It's grown so much that Olympians have come here to run this past December and serve. It's Olympian. It's an Olympian female that's gonna run tomorrow. Uh,
Wow.
she's running an ultra marathon,
To,
31 miles.
to get that
Like
prep to get that prep work in, just due to the hills and the inclines of the man.
so. In the 10K last year, his name is Isaiah Jewett. He's an 800-meter Olympian, and he was running, and the guy was filming like on a oh, I forgot that unicycle, not unicycle, that electric mobile. I forgot it
Right.
has one. They just kind of like almost like a skateboard, and he was Olympian too. And he was just filming some content. I was like, who is this guy? And so I'm laughing. He just kind of floated by me. He's like 27 years old. And I talked to him after the thing. I said, "What's up, man?" I said, "You just floated by me." Just joking with him. He's like, "Yeah, man. You know, I'm just out here chill." I said, "Man, you got an IG?" And so I looked him up. I said, oh, "Okay, sweet. I'm gonna follow you, bro." And oh, this guy's an Olympian, but he was just floating, man. 618 mile for like
Chilling.
6, and it was hilly, and it was a
Just
hill.
just
Like
just
I said,
just what is this for you? I mean, when you're in the, he's like, it's just a Tuesday.
you got this. These guys are freaks of nature, man. I mean, like he wasn't even. Of course, he wasn't tired, but he wasn't even bothered, man. He's from Mississippi too, so
That's 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 that level of dedication though to get the interview I did before you was some family kid by the name of Mike Jarrell. Mike
yeah.
is Mike from Nap, got drafted by the Seahawks, and I told him he was somebody who never thought, oh man, it was never ingrained in him to be an athlete. His
Yeah.
parents just wanted his folks wanted him to go to college.
Okay.
I tell people, I said, man, I said my experience was different. I said I understood, like I had a level of discipline to participate in sports, but I said I also remember getting juked on a kickoff return, and the dude who went 98 yards the other way was Deshaun Jackson. And at that
Oh,
rate, I realized, I said
I played.
there is discipline and there is God given
You played
ability.
John Jackson.
Oh yeah, yeah. I tell people, I said somewhere on YouTube is I said somewhere in the annals of YouTube is like myself and a number of other dudes who all went to, a couple of us ended up law enforcement, military, family man, a bunch of dudes who you realize like, all right, that brother there is, like I said to Mike, if that guy there, all right, you're going to NAIA. That
Yep.
dude there, you might play some ball at Stillman or Miles, maybe Payne.
Yep.
That dude there, he's gonna get paid doing this. And I'm not talking arena. You gonna see him on Sundays and not in a pulpit. You gonna see him like he's gonna do it. Yeah. So to hear that an Olympian was just out there
He just,
casually, hey y'all good? Hey man, hey you good? Hey, all right, Doc, and just breathing. Then
bro,
that
man,
is
it's wild, man. It's wild, and like this is a big racing community here. We got guys that's 45 years old running 240 marathons, man. 230, 40,
that's man,
40
that's
plus.
amazing. That's
You know,
amazing.
no, not me.
He
I
was
got
like,
so before.
let me disassociate myself.
So I went, man. I'm gonna put a video up later, man. I went and got a VO2 max test done today, and it came back pretty good. So I'm gonna put that video up, man. Me sucking in wind, trying to get this stuff. And I'm like, man, this junk sucks. So one of the other things that athletes at that crazy level got to go through, man, all those tests and everything.
Yeah.
God, man, it is dedication. It is like a lifestyle. And I went out. They feel after they quit, like after they get done running, do they still run or what? That's another question.
Yeah. How do you transition from, how do you turn that off? Like going from, all right, I just wrapped up this really exciting moment. I've thought that watching not the full, but like the end of like the Boston Marathon.
Oh man,
I'll always see somebody finish, and it's that moment where I'm like, what goes through your brain of achieving this level of success? Like the 1% of the 1%er. And then afterwards, you get your flag of your country, you represent, you get your medal, you get your check, and then like, so now what do we do? Like,
what do
how do you
we?
how do you turn off like greatness? Because it's like your name is in the record books. Like nobody is running those. No, not everybody is beating the Bostons or the New Yorks or the LA marathons. How do you then turn that off and go, all right, I work at Lowe's. Like, how do I? All right, now I'm gonna go clock in. Like, how?
That's it.
Like that's
So man, you gotta snap back to reality, man. Like
yeah.
okay,
Like
I gotta keep. If I want to get better, I just gotta keep training, and I also gotta show other people if they want to get better. Better. I gotta help train them too. So that's where I find an even kill it, right? I keep it even. So I have the high for a moment, but then it can it dies down. I haven't had talking about highs. I haven't had to run a high in a long time, so I don't know what's
mm,
wrong with me. I used to get it a lot, but I haven't had it in a long time. It must be I got to focus on something because I want to be able to have that high and let it stay for like half a day.
mm.
But I'm not gonna run for half a day. But I just want to have. I haven't had it in a while. I need to work on that. I got to find
Finding finding that thing to get you in that
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 zone.
that victory mode. So now,
Yeah.
so you get the love from the city, you get the love from the parents. What is the plan? Where do you want to where do you want to take, you know, being this coach and this mentor? Like, what's your? I don't like saying big goals. Like I subscribe to the theory of taking every victory. Every
Yeah.
every small win that you have, account for those 100 small wins a day. Like you said, good days, bad days, okay days. Take all of those and add it up and set like a goal for the quarter. Yo, in this quarter, I want to do this. But that's going to be an accumulation of this first 90 days. This first 90 days, how do I get to that victory? What are the small victories you want to set up that lead to the big one, if you will?
Okay. Like right now, we're focusing on building the brand, like the Doc Runs brand, right? So it's a family brand, right? And it consists of me, my wife, my two boys, right? Right.
Yeah.
Building that brand first, getting all that done and trademarked, and also moving towards sponsoring races for charity.
Mm,
Well, um, doing races for charity, right? We'll sponsor the race, and we'll do it for charity and giving back to the community that way. That's step one. And so, and after that, then building scholarships, then building so on, so on, so on for people in education. So back home where I'm from, that's where I want to do my first race at.
that's dope.
And then of course some up here in Huntsville, but smaller races like 5Ks, whatever, not nothing too major. That
Right,
require,
right.
you know, city
Somewhere,
infrastructure.
yeah,
Yeah,
you could, we're somewhere where you can get that good combination of the runners and, hey, listen, this ain't just exclusive to the runners. You could walk, you could bring the family.
that's right.
Gotcha.
And everybody, get their awards or whatever for their age group and overall and all that stuff. So it's always a benefit to that, and I can branch off and put my name out there in different states too, where I can go uh, participate in races and whatnot and help and say, look, hey, this is what we're doing over here. If you want to join or if you want to collaborate, we can do that. It's all about, man, the running community is wild and it's so welcoming, man. Like they welcome everybody, you know. And that's a big positive thing, because no matter where you're at in your life, you're welcome to the running community. Like, we're gonna bring you in and help you out, whatever your goal is, whether it's running, lifting weights, whatever. Because we got people that do it all, CrossFit, whatever you want to do. We got engineers, network,
Yeah.
big
Cause
network.
yeah, cause you never know who's in those circles. I told a relative earlier. I said, "Oh man, I said I want to get back to golfing because I golfed." And
Yeah,
I said in golfing and even just in circles of people. Like, I live in Atlanta now, and I'll go to random events. I don't do brunch because I'll be seeing too much stuff. My kids will reference stuff, be like, "Did you see this fight?" And I'm like, I'm not doing brunches in Atlanta, but
yeah,
I'll do like other events and little things that you go and you're me. No man, who are you? Well, I'm the head of the CDC. I work for the senator's
yeah,
office. And it's like, we're just here for a walkathon,
yep.
and you never. And I'm like, man, I said, so I'm fully in agreement with you on you're at this small event where you just think, man, y'all gonna put this number on my chest. I'm gonna jog a little bit, and you're running next to, who are you? Oh, I'm the governor. It's like, it didn't, but it's like, man, I'm just out here to support, out here to stay in shape, out here to provide this. And there's so much service and so much community all in something as simple as running.
It is, man. It is, man. It's so simple. It's not, man. It's not nothing that's rocket science. It's just get out there, people. You know, talk, walk, jog. It don't matter. It's all a build up. We all start from somewhere.
Right. Yeah.
We all.
Yeah, some of us, I used to be I was an under 12 minute mile and a half person. Like,
Mm,
and I was at 270 plus pounds. Like,
that's
yeah, nothing. Be like, you want me to run the 11. Now I'm like, I need to get this together before, because there's a couple of events, and yeah, man, I definitely got to tap with you. There's two events coming up. I have a relative who to a nonprofit that I take part in as a mentor called Global Humanity. We've been trying to gather and grow our we do a 2K because we said we don't want to put too much on y'all. We're gonna
yeah,
keep
yeah.
it light, bring people out, donate, we'll walk the park, network, and that. And the other is a relative of mine runs a nonprofit. And he'll watch this later, so I know it's the second largest nonprofit in all of the city of Atlanta,
What?
called Gateway Center, and they provide services for homeless. And every year they do a 5K for homeless. So I go out there with them and do that every year and talk with people. I get co-workers of mine to go, hey, listen, man, you don't have to run, but I'm going to put this money towards this benefit for homelessness. If I get 30 of y'all in this office of people who make absorbent amounts of money to give me $10, we're good. And then this is going towards that. And
Okay.
it's a good call. So, yeah, man, yeah, I definitely got to tap in with you for those, man. 'Cause it'll
Gotta look
be,
up, man.
yeah, it's like I said, man, something as basic as the running and not just network, but the fact that I don't see a lot of these marathons where they say the crux of this is a really awesome cause. Like, all of them appear to be like, you look at it and it's like, why are y'all doing this run? It's for cancer. It's for homelessness. It's
Yeah.
for that. And I'm like, and I go back to what I just said, like the fact that you could meet great people, you could do great
Yep.
service, and you don't have to be a great runner.
Yeah.
you could
You don't.
you could be an eye walker, and you
You
good.
don't. You don't. And I was and we were about to have. I know I gotta get off in a second, but
Yeah.
we were about uh, a Bridge Street, of course, half marathon. And I was telling the guys, well, the Rocky City Runners, the run group I'm part of. Shout out to David Whitehead, who was the founder. I was telling the people there, and I'll run the marathon with y'all, but I'm not running for time because I'm just trained. I'm training for one. I'll run and get content for y'all. I don't have
Right.
to, dude. Listen, because I don't like running that half marathon anyway. I don't like running that because it's not it's a good course, but it's not a lot to see.
Right.
You know, buildings, all right.
You want me to
So,
run a half marathon and there's hills? Nah.
bro,
Nah.
hey, that front half of that the
No,
one that it was Hills, man.
no,
Hilly.
no, thank you. No, thank you.
And guess what? The guy that ran the half marathon, that was Olympian, Marco Aruk. I think Marco Aruk. He was the one. He ran the 5:22 miles the whole time. And he ran the back half. He said, I said, what's I asked him what half are you running? He like, I'm running the back half, the front half's too hilly. I said, huh? And then I saw it like, dang, it is too hilly. Because I didn't remember when I ran the marathon in 23, I was like, dang, it is hilly. And when I finished and like, whew. So I see why. But he ran like a 5:22 mile, but he like 6'3". Just man, just a freak of nature, man. These guys are jacked, you know.
That's you gotta speak of their sixes. That's gonna be your boy. That's gonna be your son. You gotta speak that. You,
Yeah, man,
you,
he definitely surprised me, man. And his growth spurt was crazy, I think, too. So, cause I'm only 5'8".
Listen, man, that's the way. I'm at 6'1".
Yep.
The majority at 6'1", the majority of my first cousins are 6'3", 6'4". All of my kids are going to be extremely tall because the hands are touching the arms are touching the ankles.
Yep.
But then I look and I say, I'm 6'1", and y'all kids are 6'7", 6'8",
Yep.
6'9". I said, so what am I gonna do when my kids show up on me and all of my kids are 6'4", 6'5"? I said, y'all better get on the track or get in the paint or box out. Better
I'm
go
telling
do
you.
something.
So is your 14? Is she what 5'10"? How tall?
She's no, the 14-year-old is about 5'6".
Oh man,
She about
crazy.
the one under her though is gonna be the one that's gonna be about 5'9" to 6 foot. That's the one who that's the gymnast, the one who right now the arms are the arms. Yeah, she could if you she'll be able to rebound without a lot of jumping. I'll put it like that.
That's crazy,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I'm praying that volleyball is in her future.
Yep.
Free college.
It's money in that and golf,
Yep.
soccer too.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, yeah.
You be those sports.
Man, listen. Yeah, that's it. Putting it. I'm putting them in all of the sports. I said no. I said I want y'all gonna participate in all the sports. Ain't nobody showing up in a do rag. Ain't nobody. I said, dog, y'all about to, but y'all over there. You got to go. I'm about to be like Richard Williams. Y'all got to be over here at the country club. This is be like, but just believe Dad later. Believe me later. It'll be
Yep.
worth it.
That's right, man. That's right.
But no, man. Well,
You
shoot, bro. Bro. I appreciate it, man. I'm gonna tap in with you, man, for the next two events, man. But yeah,
man,
I'm gonna take this, chop it, cut it, send it, all of that.
you need to let me know what Atlanta events you gonna be in or around besides the ones you talked about on here. I probably can show up to one or two of those, man. And just give me a heads up, and because Atlanta what 4 hours away from here,
Oh
so
yeah,
it's
man.
nowhere.
Yeah.
So
I'll touch bases with you, man. If nothing else, I'm shocked you ain't came out here for. I believe it's the
the T
Peachtree. Yeah, I'm pretty air. Yeah, I did that. I believe last year. I jogged. That's the 5K. I think I jogged half of it and then
yeah,
walked the rest.
yeah,
I went with about 8, 9 coworkers, jogged half of them, and was chopping it up with a whole. Like you said, didn't even know. Went and Googled the dude afterwards. It was like, oh, silver medalist.
told you, told you.
just
Talking about
just and he was walking with us, and I was like, and I didn't think silver medalist. What I thought was, why wasn't you running?
feeling like,
You got a silver medal. Why was you walking with the dad bods? You was supposed to be running.
was he? Did he look like he was in shape?
Ah, hella shape,
So
hella abs on abs.
So you know what it was. He probably did that 5K as a small shakeout, and then the next day he did like the half because the half is the next day, right? Or the
Yeah,
half of the yeah.
the
So
half is the day before. Then they do the real one.
yeah. He probably did that, or he probably did the half the day before, and then just doing that to loosen his legs up again.
Yeah, that.
Yeah,
Man,
recover.
when I
Yeah,
saw that, I said Olympian. They said it was an Olympian. It was Olympian. I said, y'all focused on the wrong things. That man was back here with all of the fathers. And he was supposed to be, said, you silver medal in your profile. You was supposed to be gassing, brother.
you need to get that in front, man. You need to get that in front.
But
Yeah,
shoot,
man.
man.
I'm
Well,
I'm
man,
gonna send the rest of my contact info
man,
after we get
appreciate it.
off, so we can definitely link up. I need to run a Peachtree half marathon though.
Yeah, man. Shake. It's a, it's a, it's a dope event. It's a dope event, man.
Is
And
it?
I think if nothing else, as you as a runner, you'll meet a lot of like-minded runners and folk who, man, look, you literally might run into somebody who go, "Oh, you looking to sponsor a race? Yeah, how much you need?"
Yeah, that's what I need, man. That's what
That's
I
it.
need. Something light.
Something
Something
like,
light.
man.
This trainer here kicking my behind. And God, but it also helped me out too. So
Yeah,
yeah.
man. Well, shoot, bro. Appreciate it, man. I'll be in touch, man, to shoot the info,
All right,
man.
I appreciate you. All right, Foster.
Always.
All
All right,
right.
brother. Die. Have a good one, man.